Welcome back everyone, great to have you here. You might have seen some of the adverts for the new Neo, the version of software from Skylum. It's the Luminar range. AI came out a couple of years ago and actually it's pretty good. I was impressed with it. It's got some nice little features. Does stuff better than some other pieces of software, but then there's some other stuff which probably isn't, but there's a good mix. So their new version of Neo that's come out, it's more around portrait stuff. Well, as far as I can work out. So what I was going to do is I was going to look at different genres of photographs. I'm going to pick a portrait today and we're going to have a look and see what it can do. Now, the portrait that I've picked, Neo has this great feature of cutting out subject and making the background bokeh. Unfortunately, it's very rare that I don't take those sort of images, so I've had to go through the catalogue and find somewhere I had a massive depth of field and I want to change that. So we're going to have a look at that now. We're going to have a little play. So let's have a look. So this is it here. It's got some standard photos which come with it, which are really low res. To give you an idea, I'm just going to drag a photo in. And this, the depth of field is brilliant on it. And we're waiting for it to sort the detail out in the picture. It's all very shady at the moment. Yeah, I'm not convinced it's going to do it. Oh, there we go. It's done. So down the side here, we've got tools, we've got edits, and we've got presets. So the edits are anything that I've done on here, so I can see what I've done to the image, which actually is really quite neat. Presets, you've got various presets which are in there that you can add in. Portraits, this, that, and the other stuff that you can do. But the tools are the ones that you can do yourself as well. So we've got develop. Obviously, raw development. This is a raw image, so it's fairly flat. AI auto enhance, array structure, details, standard stuff there. Creative, relight, that's going to be quite neat to look at. Sky, well, we've got no sky in this image in all fairness. Sun rays, dramatic mood. A lot of this stuff we had in Luminar AI. But this is the bit I was quite interested in, and this is the portrait bokeh. And I want to see how well it actually does. Hey, if you're not subscribed to this channel, I would really appreciate it as a creator. If you did, that would mean the world to me. It helped me build the channel, and that's what I'm trying to do here. A like or comment would be fantastic as well. Thanks. There you go. That's the difference. So you can see there in the top, when I turn that onto preview, for some reason this is really, really slow to, and I've got quite a decent Mac here. It is quite slow to activate these. But if you look at that light strip at the top there, you can see, actually, yeah, that's pretty well in focus, but then it sorts it out. I'm just looking around that hair, you notice it go around that hair. You can see the mask that it's used. That's a pretty decent mask, you've got to be honest. That works really, really well. So we've got focus, defocus, we've got restore, softness, opacity. So that's for my brush control, so I can sort all that out. Background, what we're going to do, so is darken the background down. Nice. Let's brighten it up. Highlights glow, what we've got on that. I'm sort of thinking that that is a bit like the mist filters that you use to make lights just really pop in the background. If that's the case, that's going to be pretty amazing, because I do like that. So this is literally just changing the background. We can change the depth correction that it's chosen, so we put it back into focus, or we can turn it all the way out of focus, which looks unrealistic. I think it would probably pick the best, I've got to be honest. It looked nice. Edge correction in there as well. So, considering that was the original, I'm pretty impressed with that. I've got to be honest. I wasn't expecting it to be that good. Let's take that off for now. Bang. There you go. And then you've got the amount that you can put into it there as well. So let's make it a bit more real. Let's put it back. That's quite nice. Now let's see what we can actually do with the portrait onto here as well. So the face. There we go. I think when it's taking its time for those options to come on, I think it's actually trying to detect the face in it, which actually I think is a really neat thing. So face light. Let's just preview that. Yeah, I'm not really seeing a difference, I've got to be honest. Oh, yeah, now we're seeing a huge difference. We'll whack that up. Let's whack that down. Seems to be doing a bit of the hair there as well. So we've got a mask here. Yeah, I think it did. Got rid of that bit of the hair. So that's quite nice on the face there. Slim face. Is this actually going to change the distortion? Be interesting because we're right up against the wall here. Can I see the wall bow? No, I can't. They've handled that amazing. It hasn't affected the wall around it. It's literally just the hair bringing it in, which is quite a neat way of doing that. Prefer the face how it is, but hey ho. So we got the eye colour you can change and stuff into there as well. We're not really going to notice it back here. Let's change it to a more of a blue and a brown. Well, actually, saying that, yeah, that stands out. Eye whitening. Obviously, I'm going very drastic here. It's not something I would normally do, I've got to be honest. Lip saturation. Yeah, so it's picking little bits out, and it's picking them well. Let's get a skin. What we got under here? So we've got a skin smoothner built in. Shine removal. Now, actually, that could be quite good if we go and pick a studio portrait where I've put the light a little bit too intense. That might work quite well. Yeah, you can really notice that when you ramp it up. Body, yeah, obviously contains shape. That's not going to be effective in this picture. High key, let's see. So just whitewash it a little bit. And actually, I quite like that because it brings these oranges down on this right-hand side, and that's working quite nice. Don't forget that we didn't work on this in terms of develop or anything else beforehand. Yeah, and that's quite nice, actually bringing that out in the background. So that's working quite good. The AI side of this is really, really impressive. Yeah, I don't like that so much. It's not the right sort of picture for that. It'd be good in an architectural. Let's do a little bit of denoise. And you just brought that in quite nicely. So let's have a look at Relight. So brightness near, so it is doing depth of field. And that's quite nice. So you can choose where the depth is, brighten that up. Let's just have a look at that with and without. Yeah, that's nice. That works brilliantly. Sunrays, dramatic mood, matte mystical, film grain. Not convinced some of those are going to be right for this. Now, there was something about in here where we could add overlays. Layers, here we go. Let's add a layer. Let's put a bit of a lens flare on. And you can add that in. I don't like that lens flare in the slightest. I think it's the purple side of it. Light leaks. Oh, actually, can we, does it hover over? Now we can reposition these. Yeah, I'm not that overly impressed with these, I've got to be honest, at the moment. That's better, just dropping that down. We've got that sort of layer over the top, the opacity, which just gets rid of that slightly. When I look at doing lens flares and stuff, I don't want the rest of the image affected. And I'm not quite getting that with these. We've got different modes here, which is quite nice. Obviously screen is a normal one that we use onto that. What's overlay like? Overlay's quite nice. I reckon if we drop that opacity down to 100%, whoa, if we drop it down a little bit, it just adds that little tinge to it. Let's hide that layer. There you go, without. I quite like that width, that works well. What else we got in here? Sparkles. Oh, a bit of stardust, eh? Yeah, no, that doesn't work, does it? But if we drop that down, now it's a shame we can't get that behind that layer. I think that's probably a little bit, we're asking a little bit too much for that, I've got to be honest. Yeah, let's remove that one. What else we got? You can get more of these are just a few. And you're going to be able to do some really nice effects with some of these. And they're making it easy. That's the key thing here, easy. That's quite a nice little leak into there. Let's just drop that down. Okay, let's hide that so you can see it without. And then with. That just adds a nice little touch into that. I'm quite impressed with that. So you got layers, you can go back in afterwards, you can sort that out. Fantastic. Let's have a quick look at some of these presets. Experimental. So I'm going to remove all the previous edits. This is just going to go straight onto the raw. And these are going to be way out, these ones, because it's the experimental collection. Okay, let's go and have a look at easy portraits. High key. I'd say some of these are going to be quite useful if we use a different image where we've got an absolutely perfect portrait anyway, and we just want to add some effects, to be fair. See how well it does black and white. I love black and white, especially in portraits. Okay, let's get rid of those. I'd say you're going to have to add a black and white to a lens flare or something else that you want as well. That's quite a nice effect. It has put grain in there, quite happy with that. Sort of fits. And then we've got quite a nice low key, and that works really, really well as well. So can you do some of this stuff in Lightroom? Yes, of course you can, especially with the presets. And most of you are going to have Lightroom, but if you're looking for something different and to experiment because you're getting a bit bored, a bit staid in what you're doing, need a bit of inspiration, actually that's quite good. Let's have a little look at another portrait and drag a different one in there. Okay, let's choose that one. Let's go back to catalogue. See, now that's appeared in my catalogue, it's got rid of those other ones. Let's drag this one in. Taking its time analysing. Here we go. So let's look at these presets and start with here then, because we've got a beautiful set of presets there. Let's go for easy portrait. So fashionista, yeah, that's definitely done. I can see that being quite popular. Not my sort of style, but let's go for a monochrome and see what we got. That works really nice, actually. I quite like that. Yeah, we've got a bit of skin smoothing in there. Let's just dampen. Okay, dampening that down puts the colour back in, which is obviously not what we want to do, because obviously the background is blurred out already. but will it sort out the little strands of hair that we've got around here and smooth everything out? And yes, it does. Just wait for that to load back up. It does a pretty decent job of that, I've got to be honest. So that's pretty much saved me going around in Photoshop and sorting those hairs out. I can see bits there which I'm still not liking so much, but let's just experiment with that a little bit more in that background. Oh, that's quite nice. I like that. Background brightness we can alter. Does that work? How are we going to do onto that? Yeah, it does. It puts that edge probably a little bit too much, but it's already dark on that edge. So I'm not too worried about that. Cool. Okay, hope that's given you a little insight into the features that you can use for a portrait. Some nice little bits in there, nice little retouching. Just going to have a look here actually at the skin. Yeah, there we go. Then we can export. We can export to disk, wherever. Connect, I'm assuming that's something on the mobile phone. I've not seen that, not played with it, don't know about it. And you'll start to build your catalogue up. You can obviously just drag folders in and go through, which is what I used to do in Luminar. But yeah, quite nice little results. Quite pleased with that. Can we export straight from here? Yes, we can. Let's export that image so that we've got it. Original size. There we go. We'll export that. There we go. Hope you enjoyed that little look into Luminar Neo. I think it's a nice little addition. It's not that expensive. It's got some really great features. No, you're not going to use it all the time, but there are going to be certain bits in it that you're going to use and you're going to go, oh, that's amazing. The other thing, especially with that bokeh, I mean, if you've got 5.6 or you've got a 7.1 lens, whatever like that, that's going to be really good for you because actually it's going to cut out. And I love the way it got rid of the frizz around the hair as well. So nice little addition. Admittedly, some of those were shot on a 1.8 lens when I was doing it, some of those images, so it was trying to get that depth of field, but I still like the results that it gave. So there you go. Have a look. There'll be some other videos on the different aspects from architectural to this, that and the other that we've put through it just so you can see the results as well and see how that works for you. See you on the next one.